applause for making it in here. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your wealthy people are? Do you know where your wealthy people are? I'm Melinda Miller, and I wanted to welcome you guys today. I'm so excited about what's going to happen. This is an opportunity to network. I'm very excited about today. I'll introduce our MC. The reason I'm excited, I met Tommy Jones over 20 years ago, mortgage banker, and one of the things I will tell you is that when I met with him, he was able to defy the odds and statistics for people who could not qualify to purchase a home. Some kind of way he made miracles happen, okay? And he knew what to do, what type of paperwork they needed, and he has been working on this endeavor from the beginning, so over 20 years ago. So this is a vision that is just coming to life. He started out with real estate masterminds that I was able to assist him with. He's also started out with some other endeavors as far as Catapult. Some of you guys have been to some of those events, and now he's doing Wealth Through Real Estate, where he's helping individuals be able to put some things together to create wealth for the future. And if you know, some of you guys are here today without having to take off from work because the city of Arlington is excited about what? The Rangers World Series. So 52 years in the making, and the Rangers have won the World Series. So give them a round of applause. And so just like the Rangers World Series defied odds, statistics show us that by 2053, wealth in people of color's household will be non-existent. So people of color, non-existent wealth. So we have today as a divine setup, divine alignment to make sure that we defy odds. And the person that's welcoming you has defied odds. I wasn't supposed to be here today. All right, I wasn't supposed to be here today. I wasn't supposed to be able to walk on my own. I wasn't supposed to be able to breathe without oxygen. And here we are today, and we're going to defy some odds today. So I get the pleasure of introducing our MC on today as well. So you guys have heard the voice. It's very familiar to you. 19 years in DFW. You've heard this voice on the radio. And she has served the Dallas-Fort Worth area and in the community. She's one of the most involved people in the community. I mean, she's a sweet philanthropist, okay? And I wanted to share with you guys that she's still serving her community. Now she's helping people build generational wealth. Most of you know her as Radio Sweetheart, and now she is the sweetheart of real estate. So when I say her name, I want you to get up on your feet, and I want you to give her a round of applause. So welcome, Lady Jade.
Oh my goodness. I need you every morning, Melinda. That was so sweet. Thank you. Okay, first of all, y'all look good this morning. Okay. Y'all took this business casual thing to heart. Y'all were like, we finna show up and look like we gonna make some money today. I love it. How's everybody feeling this morning? Did everybody get in good? Are the streets blocked off yet? They're blocked off? And y'all still made it on time? Look at God, okay? I love it. All right, so one thing that I'm gonna need from you guys today is a lot of energy. There's gonna be a lot of information shared here today. It's gonna be like the master's class in the day of real estate investing. So I need you guys taking a lot of notes, soaking in the information. If we have time at the end of some of our panels, we'll be able to take Q&A. If not, we'll try to, if we can stay on time, we'll do it at the end. But I really appreciate you guys coming out. Y'all look real good. Yeah, it's like Melinda said, what are the chances of us having a World Series the same day we do our event? That's crazy. All right, well, like you said, y'all know me from the radio. I was on a hip-hop radio station here for 19 years on a nationally syndicated morning show. So how the heck did I end up doing real estate investing? God has a sense of humor, y'all. This is so crazy. Okay, so matter of fact, I met Tommy. Tommy came in to promote an event he had going on. And he wanted me to host the event. And from that point on, we actually developed a really amazing friendship. But I knew Tommy was a speaker. I knew Tommy was a loan officer. But I ain't even gonna lie. Tommy was moving like he had some extra change in his pocket, okay? Now, no shade to any of the loan officers. I know y'all make some money, but he was moving a little bit different. So I started to ask questions. Fam, what are you doing? Where are you getting this? You going on too many trips? Every time I see you, you got on Balenciagas. What's going on? He started telling me about real estate investing. Now, here's the thing. With me being on the radio, the reality is I can't do that for the rest of my life. I was blessed to be able to do it for over 20 years, 19 years here in Dallas, which is an amazing run. Normally, you get 2 or 3 years, and you're on to the next. God is so good, I'm telling you. So he starts telling me about the investing piece. Now, I have to be honest, probably like a lot of you guys in here, I was a little skeptical. I was afraid. So I questioned Tommy for over a year, asking questions. I was not even asking questions to get answers. If I'm being honest, I was asking questions to catch him up in a lie. What is this has to be a scam. And I'm gonna tell you why I thought that. Because they have made us believe that this is not for us. They have made us believe that this is not attainable. They made us believe that this was hard. And if you follow the formula, it really is not. It's not any more challenging than you getting up every day and going to a job you don't like. It's not any more challenging than, well, I ain't gonna talk about the relationships. We're gonna keep that, we ain't gonna go there, okay? So finally, about a year after him taking me to locations, allowing me to shadow him, I jumped in. Scariest thing I ever did. And if I'm being quite frank, some of you may have heard this story before. The night before I was gonna write the biggest check of my life, I decided to use my own money on my first investment property. I was gonna, can y'all believe I was gonna buy a house for $45,000? It was less than 800 square feet. Before I was gonna write that check that night before, I Googled Tommy 9,000 times. I put in Tommy Jones scam artist, Tommy Jones con man, and I'm serious. I was so afraid. You guys, this was my money. I don't play with my money. I started looking up his social media accounts, being like, why he only got 3 posts? Is he really Tommy Jones? I've been knowing this man for years. What's really going on? Long story short, I showed up at the bank, and it's crazy. I wasn't even writing the check to him. I was writing it to the lender, right? But I thought maybe they were in cahoots together and he was gonna take my money. But anyhow, I wrote the check, and on my first flip property, I made $65,000. Okay, hold up. Let me tell y'all the rest of the story. It took us an entire year. It was supposed to take, and we'll talk about it a little bit later on, it was supposed to take about 3 months, and it ended up taking me a year. Because we ended up being in a historic district. They ended up changing a lot of things on us. The repairs went from $4,000 windows to $18,000 windows. It was a lot. And had I not had mentorship and coaching, I would have lost the $45,000 and quit. I would have lost the money that I put into the property, because you have to have an accountability partner in this game. And I'm gonna be honest, we are not here today to convince you to make Tommy your accountability partner, in the least. If it ain't Tommy, whatever you're gonna do, get you one, get you a mentor. And if your mentor doesn't have a mentor, that should not be your mentor. All right, but we're gonna talk a little bit more about that. The thing that I loved about Tommy's mentorship was this one thing that stood out to me. Besides him just being available, not gatekeeping, willing to share all of the information and knowledge that he knew, what I realized is that a lot of the properties that we're gonna get, they're foreclosures. Tommy would be talking to these homeowners, trying to exhaust every single opportunity for them to be able to keep their home. He would, do you have this person that you can borrow money from? Can you come up with this? It wasn't one of those things that go in there and bombard and take advantage of people that are at their lowest point in life. And the reason why that stood out to me is because when I first started in radio, my mom ended up getting remarried, married the wrong person, and our home was going into foreclosure. At that time, I was making $12 an hour, y'all. I couldn't help my mom. I didn't know anything about buying homes, mortgages, I knew nothing. So I was helpless. And we didn't have a Tommy. We didn't have somebody to come in and coach us and tell us all the other options besides just giving our home up. So when I saw him do that, I was like, this is a man of character. And if you got character, I'm going to rock with you. Especially if you're going to be making me some money, okay? No, I'm just joking. So that is what today is all about. You guys are going to learn a lot of information. If you get tired, take a little break, come back in, because I'm telling you, it's going to be jam-packed. We want you to not only learn information, but we want you to walk away with applicable information and knowledge that you can actually apply to your life to start real estate investing. How many people in here have ever done any real estate investing? How many people are brand new? So, I'm going to bring up our first speaker. She's a compassionate counselor. She's a life coach. She's an author. And she's also a TEDx speaker. She has a strong passion for guiding individuals in transforming their experiences of trauma and loss into opportunities of personal growth. She holds a doctorate in philosophy, a bunch of master's degrees. She's like legit the real thing, you guys. She is the visionary founder, dedicated CEO of A New Me Counseling and Consulting. Y'all help me welcome Mr. Dr. Australia Bruce. Dr. Bruce got all these degrees. Let's talk about it. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the power of positive thinking. Why is that so important, and especially on a day like today?
The power of positive thinking is everything. There is this quote that says that the quality of your thoughts determine the quality of your life. And I have so many thoughts about positive thinking, but one thing I will say is that if you hear people say, only think of the positives, I have a problem with that. And the reason is because sometimes that's truly avoidance, because we don't want to think about the negative thoughts that sometimes pops up. And we have to be able to address the negativity before we can move into the positivity.
I love that. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the steps of changing our mindset. You know, you had a few people that raised their hands, and they're a little bit afraid to take the leap. And it's not even a leap about real estate investing. We're often afraid to take the leap of change. We don't like change. Change can be very uncomfortable. Yeah. So how do we address the reality of our negative thoughts and move into shifting that into positive thinking?
That's a really good question. I often say, let's start with your belief system. What do you think about yourself? And I like to use analogy. So I'm a country girl. I'm from Northeast Texas, Naples, Texas. It's about 1,400 people, including the cows and chickens.
Ooh-wee.
That's how small it
That's
is.
That's small.
Small. So I used to play out in the yard, run around with the cows, and I would get bit by ants a lot. Have you ever been bitten by ants?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So they have black ants, red ants, sugar ants, all kinds of ants. So when you think about ants, it stings. So in our thought process, there's this, ants is automatic negative thoughts, okay? Automatic negative thoughts that often sting us. But those ants come from a belief system. So again, if you think about the ants, they come from this ant mound, right? Think of that ant mound as your belief system. If you're constantly having automatic negative thoughts about yourself, then of course that will tell me what you think of yourself. And we have to be able to address what we believe about ourselves in order to change that, those automatic negative thoughts, into a belief system of, I am enough, or I can win, I am going to be successful. But until we address that, it's difficult to have those positive thoughts.
Okay, so what if we don't believe that? What if the reality of we do have negative thoughts? A lot of us have been beat up. A lot of us have been beat up by trauma. A lot of us have gone through certain things that have made us believe that we are not enough. Y'all know the world would tell you you're not enough, right? Constantly. And they do it. The world is sneaky. It's real sneaky. So let's talk about what are the things that we should be saying to ourselves. And let's go ahead and say them. Y'all, I know a lot of you guys are like, this is corny, but nah. This is how we build the foundation, okay, of today. Because you're going to hear a lot of information and things are going to seep into your mind to say, I can't do that. That's too much. I don't have the money for that. I could never. So if we get this stinking thinking out right now, as those thoughts creep into your mind throughout the day, I want you to sit back by yourself wherever you are. As soon as that thought pops into your mind, I want you to say these things to yourself. Let's affirm ourselves today.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about, okay, research says that we have between 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day. About 6,000 of those thoughts are intrusive, meaning you didn't ask for the thought. You could just trying to go get a cup of coffee.
Ooh, that's
and
so
something
real.
Something crazy just popping. What did that come from, right? Now, 75, am I right?
Y'all, is that not true? You'll be getting out the car, you'll be thinking you were cute before you left the house, and then you're like, why did I wear these gray pants? What is going on? You'll be in a grocery store, and you'll be thinking about somebody that broke up with you 5 years ago. And
Exactly. Like, I didn't ask this thought to come into my mind, so 6,000. So, and then 75% of those thoughts are actually negative. 95% of those thoughts are actually repetitive. So if you think about what are you thinking about? There's a term in psychology, it's called metacognition. In order for us to really have disciplined thoughts, we need to think about what we're thinking about, meaning that we need to challenge those negative thoughts. A lot of times we ask ourselves these questions, am I capable of this? And we leave it open. Answer the question. Am I capable? Yes, I am. Why? Because I have this degree, I am capable. You know, God says I can do this. So there are so many things that we could truly do in order to combat those thoughts.
Can we practice that real fast? Can we repeat out loud? And if the person next to you is not saying it, point them out. That's the type of day it is today, okay? All right. Let's go with I am capable, right?
I am capable. I am capable.
But you got to say it like you mean it. I am capable.
I am capable.
What's the next one, Dr. Bruce?
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I am worthy. I am enough.
I am enough.
Even if you don't believe it at the time, there is something that you can do to change the way that you view yourself by, again, repetitive thoughts. You begin to think the things that you're thinking about. So the more that you focus on those thoughts, you will begin to believe the truth of that. Not because it's positive thinking. You can begin to think about your capabilities, begin to think about the successes of your past. Like, you know what, I was really successful. I may have failed, but I overcame that. Those types of thoughts help to build resiliency so that you can push through any negative thoughts that may come up presently.
Let me tell you guys a true story. I remember one time when Tiffany Haddish first started her career. I remember interviewing her on the radio, and she shared a story with us about, I believe she was adopted, she had been in an abusive relationship, and before she ever got her first movie role, she had the lowest self-esteem. And I remember her saying, and this was the first time affirmations and, you know, looking in the mirror and speaking positively and manifestation, all that stuff, it wasn't a thing then. So she said that every single day, what she did is she wrote down 10 positive things about herself that were actually opposite of the way that she felt. And every morning she would get in the mirror and she would say those things. And she would be like, you a bad, it's Tiffany Haddish, chick. You know, you are worthy. You are a star. You are capable. And she would say these things every day. And she said after about 6 months, she realized after repeating it every single day, she started to believe it. And that was when she ended up getting her first big role in the Girls Trip movie. But before then, y'all, she probably wouldn't have been able to because she would have walked in and she would have self-sabotaged. And that's why we're starting this with this exercise today, because I don't want you guys to be like me. Me waiting a year and a half to start something new. And probably I should have started something new a long time ago, but I was afraid. And fear can paralyze you.
Yes.
And so we got to push that past that fear. So let me ask you this. When it comes to positive thinking and getting our minds right, can our environment and the people that we're around affect that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. As they say, birds of a feather flock together, right? And there's this saying that talks about it really shows like who you are, your character, by the people that you hang around, right? And I know that sometimes environments, we can't control a lot of, what people do around us, but we can control what we choose to do in those situations, meaning if I know that this person or these group of people are consistently putting me down or speaking negatively or may not be going in the same trajectory that I'm trying to go into, then I need to take a step back and think about, well, what are truly my goals here? What is it that I'm really trying to do? And begin to, like you said, surround yourself with people. You knew that you had to connect with Tommy because he was a mentor, but it wasn't just about making money, it was about changing your mindset. So it is important, who we choose to be around, who we choose to do life with, because they truly influence our thoughts and the way and what we think of ourselves.
So if somebody changes seats today, that means you haven't been giving off positive energy, and that's what we're going to give today, okay? We're going to give a lot of positive energy, okay? Is there a different process when you're trying to develop a positive outlook when you want it to be a within thing? Because you probably already have this mentality of your incapabilities. How do you push past that?
You have to give yourself the opportunity to process, why do you feel incapable? One thing that you mentioned, one of my areas of expertise is trauma resolution. And I speak to a lot of, more specifically women in leadership. They're C-suite level, they are entrepreneurs. And it's not that they're incapable or skilled, it's their true belief about themselves. And many times they haven't been really taught to think through and process, how are you feeling? Being able to validate, and there's this feelings wheel that I often provide. And I said, you need to check in with yourself every single day. Literally, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? I don't feel good. Okay, what is it that's causing you to feel that way? So being able to stop and really process and give yourself the opportunity to work through those thoughts and those emotions, that helps us to push through and embrace that positive side of truly who we are.
All right, lastly, let's talk about gratitude. How important is gratitude in shifting our mindset?
Oh my goodness, gratitude is everything. I mean, we could truly sit and think about what we don't have, what someone else has. As you talk about comparison is a thief of joy, right? We can continue to compare ourselves. But the thing about gratitude is that there are research says there are actually physiological benefits to gratitude. If you are constantly stressed and thinking of things that you don't have, it can actually increase your blood pressure, right? You lose sleep, so it impacts mood. And it can also impact your relationships. If you're constantly thinking about those negative things and what you don't have, then it truly can impact your entire world. So gratitude is truly a winning mindset, and to be able to think about, well, what is it that I'm thankful for? Even if it's just I have breath in my body, I'm in good health. Before I hit the ground running, let me think about, oh my goodness, I didn't get an emergency phone call from a family member. That must mean my family is good. I'm so grateful for that. So gratitude is truly, truly paramount in whatever goals or process that you are trying to reach, because it's a long haul to maybe where you're trying to go. So continue to incorporate that gratitude because it's necessary for your success.
All right, y'all about to be mad at me. Don't y'all hate when you go to events and they make you speak to the person next to you? I can't stand it, but I'm about to make y'all do it, okay? So for the next 20 seconds, let's turn to the person next to us And let's tell them 2 to 3 things that we're really grateful for, because that's how we're going to start off the day, all right? And then after this, we ain't going to do no more church talking. We gonna keep it rolling, all right? All right, you got 30 seconds, guys. Let's go. Okay, some of y'all getting phone numbers. That's a lot of gratitudeness going on. No, I'm just joking. All right, we'll take about 10 more seconds. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. All right, real quick, we have a couple more minutes. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Bruce? Anybody have any questions for Dr. Bruce? Oh, here we go. I love that.
Oh, that's a good question. So to access it, you can go to feelingswheel.com, I believe. But the feelings wheel is whenever someone asks you, how are you doing, right? Usually we say good. But if you say, how are you feeling, it helps you to really think about how you're feeling. So the feelings wheel, in the middle, there are core feelings that we have. Happy, sad, excited, angry, things like that, right? But the feelings wheel, it branches into sub-feelings. So where there may be sadness, it also has like maybe depression. It's a lot of feelings on there. And then from depression or depressed, it has additional feelings. So the feelings wheel gives us language about what's going on the inside of us. So that's what the feelings wheel is to provide us with some specific words to help us identify what's going on so that we can get a little bit deeper and ask the questions, why am I feeling this way? And that is truly processing, not to stay in the feelings, but to move through them so that we can get to the side of the truth about ourselves, or moving through the negativity to the positivity, or just allowing ourselves to have a human moment, like I'm just feeling this way because. But that's true processing, but that's what the feelings wheel is.
I love it. You said it gives us the language, because when you say, how are you feeling today, what do we normally say? Fine. That's it. That's how we answer.
And fine is actually not even on the feelings wheel. It's not on the feelings wheel.
Oh, wow. You know, somebody asked me one time, and it really made me process. They said, how is your heart today? Okay. I was like, and I started crying because I didn't know. Yeah, how was your heart today? It really made you think about it. All right, well, how can everybody keep in contact with you, follow you on Instagram,
Yes, so you can go to my Instagram at AnewMe Dr. E. It looks like Dre, so AnewMe Dre, or you can go to my website at anewmedre.com.
Y'all give it up for Dr. Bruce, everybody. Thank you so much. All right. All right, y'all. I need you to get your pen and your paper out because we're about to jump in heavy to real estate investing. We're going to jump it off like this. He is the visionary behind today's event. You've been hearing us mention his name a lot. I feel like we should bring him up first to talk about the investing portion. He has actually helped many of us in this room create wealth, both financially and informationally. He's a coach, he's a mentor, he's the founder and CEO of Wealth Through Real Estate. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all put your hands together for Mr. Tommy Jones.
I'm extra, but let me tell you why I'm extra. Because it takes a lot to do this. It takes a lot of the stuff that Dr. Bruce talked about. Okay, you can break it down.
Because most of the stuff that we fight is internal, right? And I want to be transparent. I wanted to quit a lot
For today. But this woman on the stage and my team would not allow it. So I want you to understand what you're connected to. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the amazing, audacious belief of what's possible for all of our lives. The reason we wanted to do this like this, for us, by us, is because Jade has a saying that she says, we eat with our eyes. We believe that what we see. So we wanted to do something and be extremely intentional for the black and brown communities for what's possible for us. Because most times when we walk in the room is flipped. It's them and then maybe one or two of us. Now, this isn't a black or white thing or black or brown thing. This is about an opportunity thing. This is a time and a place for us to either sit at the table or create our own table. So that's what this is about. So give yourselves a hand. Yeah. For fighting through the traffic, fighting through what's in your head, fighting through what's not connected in your heart, and getting here. Because in rooms like this is where change happens. Rooms like this, you will meet some of my business partners later. Rooms like this is where proof of concept happens, where you can see somebody that looks like you, somebody that has similar struggles like you, that are winning like you want to win, and it makes it possible. So we're going to give the game today. We're going to unpack it, and we're going to give the game today. Everybody should walk out of this room with carpal tunnel. Because we're going to give you strategies. I would say this. Every strategy that we drop today will produce a minimum of $100,000. That part. Now, come on, bring me back up.
Okay, intro music, please. Oh, we're going to do it like this. When I say DJ, y'all say drop that. DJ. DJ. Let's go. Okay, come on up, Tommy. Y'all clap for that one more time. Woo. All right, y'all.
Jeez.
Feels good to be here. And it's true what he said. You know, when you're putting on events like this, there is a lot of behind the scenes stress. Like you have no idea, especially when you want to make it right for the people that are showing up. If people are going to pay to get in this room, they're going to show up, wake up early in the morning. Some of you guys took off work. You want it to be right. So we appreciate you guys. This is not possible unless you show up. But yeah, this man has been working really, really hard. And I don't know if we encouraged him or we gave him hell about, leading up to this event. Just wanted it to be right.
Both.
Okay. All right, so let's start with this. Who is Tommy Jones?
Man. Tommy Jones is that little country dude from Waxahachie, Texas, that moved to Arlington in 1989 to go to the University of Texas at Arlington. Yeah. Graduated in 93 and never left. At that time, Arlington was 20 minutes from everything. And so it was a great place to start a business and raise a family.
So by trade, you're a loan officer, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I've been a licensed loan officer for 25 years.
So how do you go, not saying, look, no shade to any loan officers in the building, because loan officers do well for themselves. But what made you go from being a loan officer to all of a sudden having this interest in real estate investing?
So as a loan officer, I got this investor that was flipping. And he was flipping before flipping was flipping. He was flipping before HGTV, flipped this house, all those kind of things. And so as a loan officer, anytime you flip a house or you sell an asset that you've owned for less than 12 months, you have to show how much you paid for it, if you did any improvements to it, and then, you know, you have to show the underwriter the net price. So he was buying houses back then for like $18,000, putting $30,000 in them, selling them for like $110,000. That part. And so I got very curious, and I just asked him one day, I said, what is it that you do, and how do you do it? And he was like, well, just come by my house after work, and I sat in his garage, and he showed me the game. He showed me how he would buy the houses, how he would find the houses, how he would repair the houses. And so I was his loan officer for about 2 years. Then I became his competition.
You see why you don't be want to tell people the game? Because that ain't even right. No, I'm just joking. But you know what? I love that. I think that oftentimes we're always looking for something so big. Y'all, there is power in one. And I learned that many years ago. One person was willing to teach you the game. Like literally, it takes one idea to become this guru that you want to become, right? It takes one person, it takes one opportunity, and it was one person that said, meet me in my garage. So let me ask you this. You start investing, but the reality is what most people don't know is you didn't have any money.
Man, listen, I was a loan officer, but back then it was hard. So my spiel, so back then, like all of 360 that you see, 360 actually dead ended back in the day. And so all
Tommy acting like he was back in the 1922s, like, yeah, no, okay.
But so all of these trailers started popping up where they were building all these communities. So there wasn't any internet, there wasn't any lead generation like that. So you ate what you killed by going to these subdivisions and talking to the sales manager. So my pitch was, hey, my name is Tommy Jones with Home Loan Corporation. Please give me every application that your mortgage company has turned down in the last 45 to 60 days and see if I can revive them. You ain't got nothing to lose.
So you got to break that down. So why would you want those contracts?
Because their in-house mortgage company had already turned them down. They couldn't do it because they didn't have the credit profile or whatever. So I would take that data and I would go and I would call the people and I would ask if I could pull their credit. They would allow me to, some of them would, some wouldn't. And so I kind of self-taught myself how to repair credit. Because as a loan officer, you're 100% commission. You ain't closing, you ain't eating, right? So I was motivated to learn how to do this. I was motivated to learn to solve a set of problems that no one else saw the value in solving.
So when you first start to actually become what we deem as a real estate investor,
yes,
with you not having enough cash flow, what strategy did you use to jump into the game? Because there's a lot of people sitting in this room that's like, I want to do it, but I don't necessarily have a whole bunch of money sitting in the bank.
Great question. So what I started doing is I started contacting people that either needed to sell their home or wanted to sell their home. Right? Mm-hmm. And so I used a strategy called wholesaling. So what I
hold on, right fast. Y'all ever heard of wholesaling? Now, if you're not writing this down on your paper, y'all ain't trying to get this $100,000 we talked about. Write down wholesaling. Okay, let's break down wholesaling.
Okay, so wholesaling is the act of finding someone who wants to sell their home, going under contract with them, a legally binding contract, and then selling your interest in the contract.
Okay, wait, y'all know we got to break it down. Okay, so you find somebody who wants to sell their home, and when you say going under contract, are you having to give them any money?
No.
You're just, it's a legally binding contract.
Binding contract.
And you're going to find them their buyer.
Yeah.
And so.
Or either I'm going to buy it.
Or, okay.
But I'm betting on me that I'm going to find a buyer before the contract expires.
So give us some numbers. Hypothetically speaking, they want to sell their home for.
Okay, so let's say they want to sell their house for, I'll just do one we just did. They want to sell their house for $90,000, right? The house is worth $250,000, right? But it's an estate issue. They need to liquidate the asset, right? So they want to sell it for $90,000. So I go under contract for $90,000, and I say, okay, Jade, I will close on this house on or before November 30th, between me and you for $90,000. We sign a contract. We send that contract to the title company. Me and you are legally under contract. right, for $90,000. Today is November 3rd. I have 27 days to perform, to close, to get you your $90,000. Then I go out and I find a buyer because I don't have any money. My superpower is the ability to find you. That's all I know how to do, is talk.
And pray that by November 30th, you find
by
somebody.
November 30th, right? So I go under contract, right, for 90 grand. Then I find, I don't know, Anita, who's a flipper. She's an investor. Anita agrees that the house will be worth $250,000, right? Anita does her analysis and figures out that she can rehab the house for about $50,000, right? So then Anita asks me, how much do I want for the house? I tell Anita I want $110,000 for the house. So Anita does her analysis. So her acquisition, the cost of her to purchase the house is $110,000. Then it's going to take her, let's say, $50,000 to rehab it. It's going to be worth $250,000. So she's got a $90,000 equity position, right? So I've created a win, win, win.
Y'all get that?
So you get what you want.
I got my $90,000.
Because you inherited this house. You live in Dallas, Texas. This house is in Shreveport, Louisiana. This was your favorite aunt that died. You don't know anything about real estate, don't care to know anything about real estate. You just want this burden gone, right? Because you got to split the money with 7 other siblings or aunts and uncles. This kind of fell in your lap. You don't want to deal with this, so you find me. So I solve your problem. I don't have any money, right? I don't have any money or credit to do it, but Anita does.
So I get my $90,000
You get your
that I
$90,000.
wanted. You sold it for 110, so you made $20,000. You sold it to Anita for 110.
Then she put 50 on it for repairs, so she's all in at 160. She sold it for 250, so 90.
So she made 90, you made 20, and then I got my 90. Hello, somebody.
So watch this. So when I started, I've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that strategy. Now, today, it's extremely easy because you can do it all through technology. I have a student that you're going to hear from later today that worked at GM Motors for 15 years that we put a strategy together that he's probably going to be making within the next 18 months, probably about $100,000 a month with that strategy, that one strategy.
Whew, that's good, Tommy. Okay, so wholesaling. So let me ask you a really quick question though. When you're doing this game, obviously you have relationships because you're a loan officer, so you may know other people that are looking to buy properties. Let's say you're brand new and you're thinking about, I want to start wholesaling because I don't have any cash up front to maybe start flipping. I want to use my properties from wholesaling to jump into other, other things. How do we find the Anitas?
Great question. How many people in here by show of hands have a phone? How many people in here by show of hands have social media? How many people in here by show of hands have family and friends as contacts in their phone? So everybody becomes your client, or everybody becomes your bird dog.
Ooh, let's talk about bird dog. So that's another strategy. If you don't have any money to start investing right off the bat, bird dog is a great way to get capital. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so if I was at this conference today and I had no money and no credit, here's a commercial that I would make. Hey man, this is your boy Tommy Jones. I am at this Wealth Through Real Estate conference and I'm so excited. I am learning a new skill set that's gonna help me level up my family. If you're someone you know, knows anybody that needs to sell their house for whatever reason, call me. Period.
So they're gonna call you.
They're gonna call you.
And what makes you the bird dog?
No, that makes. So when they call you, because you ain't got no money, so you don't know what to do, then you call me or call somebody on my team.
And if you buy the asset, then that person that connected you is your bird dog, and they make some money.
So I have a student in the room today that is, she's going to be on a panel later. A bird dog made $20,000 on a deal that he sold to her that she's going to make $100,000 off of.
Please raise your hand if this is confusing to you, because I want to make sure. Okay, it's confusing to you. Okay, we'll break it down. What's your name? Venus. Miss Venus. Hypothetically speaking, I'm not putting this on you. Venus is saying, you know what, I don't have any money to start flipping right now, but I do want to make some money. So you're driving around your neighborhood, you see some abandoned houses, and you're saying to yourself, well, I know somebody I can call that will buy that house. I don't have the money to buy it, but I know somebody that does. You pick up your phone, you call her Tommy Jones. Tommy Jones goes out to that house and says, you know what, this actually is going to end up being a great real estate investment for me. Thank you, Miss Venus. Because you brought me this asset, I'm going to pay you some money for being my bird dog. You were eyes on the street. That's all you did. All you did was make a phone call. Anything past that is on him. If he buys the property that you brought to him, you're gonna make some money off of it. Does that sound easy enough, Miss Venus? Amen. Y'all clap it up. Miss Venus about to be bird dogging y'all. Okay, so we have wholesaling. Did you guys understand wholesaling? We have bird dogging. Those are two strategies in real estate investing if you have little to no money to jump in the game. You said, Tommy, you made hundreds of thousands of dollars at the beginning of your career in investing, wholesaling.
Wholesaling, yeah.
When did you decide to pivot into flipping?
So I pivoted. I think I had made a little right around $600,000 wholesaling. So then, yeah.
Okay.
About 18 months. I made about $600,000 saying, hi, my name is Tommy Jones. Do you or someone you know is interested in selling your home? I typically look for three things. Someone, it's the 3 Ds: death, divorce, and disease. Typically, when there's a disruption in your income, it creates an inability to pay your mortgage. So my job is to come in and provide solutions. Number one, to try to help you stay in the house if that's possible, right? To retain the asset. If it's not possible for you to stay in the asset, then to create a win-win situation around your situation for something that makes sense, right? Like we just closed on an off-market deal in McKinney. The young lady had an immune deficiency issue. She wasn't behind on her home. She wanted to sell her home and downsize, but she couldn't go through the traditional listing a house for sale because of her sickness. So we came in. We made a very fair, firm cash offer. We purchased the home cash. Her biggest thing for her was not so much the money. I mean, the money obviously was part of it, but the ease and the convenience of life after the sale. She needed 30 days to move out. And so the other investors were like, no. Well, because of our IQ, we were like, hey, you need 30 days, we'll give you 45. And she wanted only taking 2 weeks to move out. So it's those type of things, those type of strategies, those type of flexibility in a deal that makes it work for us a lot of times.
How does somebody know if they're ready to start flipping properties?
Well, it depends on what your why is. I hate my job. I hate my current situation. I know that God has more for me. I know that I'm playing below my level, right? And I believe that real estate is my vehicle to get out of this situation and answer all the questions that I have. And so it has to be internal. One thing that I tell, because I personally interview every student that comes in our organization. I personally interview them. Yeah, they go through all the other stuff, but when they get ready to pay, I talk to them. And the thing that I tell every student is I can teach you everything about this business. The only thing I can't give you is grit and tenacity. You got to bring that yourself. If you're one of those people like, hey, I talked to 3 people and they all said no, so I think it was gas and not God, and I can't do this.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think a lot of times when people get into real estate investing, like right now, they're hearing all these numbers. Yeah. And they're thinking, oh, it's a get rich quick. Like this is going to be, y'all, don't let anybody lie to y'all. It is attainable, but it is work, correct?
Can I give some numbers?
Yeah, I would love that.
So in one of my accountability groups, we have a Prove Up. And from September of 21 to September of 22, I had to give my numbers to my mentor. So from September of 2021 to September of 2022, I either through AI or now I'm fancy now. So I got all this digital stuff and all these different funnels to get people to come in, right? So, but I'm always looking at the analytics. So from September of 21 to September of 22, we either contacted or touched 805 people. Out of the 805 people that we touched, I think 276 responded, right? Out of the 276 responded, we made offers on 96 assets, properties. Out of the 96 assets that were that we made offers on, 18 were accepted. Out of the 18 that were accepted, it generated $1,036 and like 88 cents or some crazy number like that.
What was the first number?
800 and something.
So from your platform, you went from 800 and something, and you only got
18.
And I don't. Well, let me rephrase it. And you got 18, because a lot of times it's a numbers game. I'll just say this. I can speak from experience. I have gotten frustrated with real estate investing before because I done brought Tommy 2 properties, and neither one of them ended up making sense numbers wise. And I'm like, man, see, this is not. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. But do you understand? We went from 800 and we broke that thing all the way down to 18. That's a huge gap.
Yeah. But that last number is bigger than all them other numbers.
Hello, the 1 point whatever million. Yes, sir. Okay.
But here's the deal. Which number matters in that?
Amen.
Which number matters, right? And so what I try to do is I try to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly part of real estate.
That's good.
I try to be extremely transparent. I never want to be that guy that you always just see me on social media walking out the title company with a $60,000, $70,000 check them, and you can do this too. Because you can, but you probably won't, is the reality of it. You can, but you probably won't.
How many homes have you flipped to date successfully?
Shut up, Melinda. I've flipped about 310, and 309 I made money on.
Okay, so then you have one loss.
One loss.
Let's talk about one loss.
What's that address, Melinda? It's Wayland. It's Wayland. Y'all can look it up. It's in Arlington, Texas, over by Lamar High School. I brought a $45,000 check to closing. Yeah, I sold it, and I brought a $45,000 check to closing. That's my only loss in life. I won't even turn on that street. Listen, I was coming to the hotel today, and the roads are blocked off because of the thing. I was like, oh, the devil is alive. I'm not turning. I've lost one time.
Okay, the record is good though. We have 309 wins. We have the one loss. What happened with loss?
Okay. So what happened? We purchased a house. The school system had an exemplary rating, and during the rehab process, it lost its rating. It was like the Highland Park of the South, right? It was a really, really nice area, and when the schools lost their exemplary rating, people just wanted to pay regular stuff for a house in Arlington. So we had over-improved. We had made the improvements based on the original numbers. Yeah, so we basically over-improved on a value that we lost once it lost its exemplary rating.
So you didn't follow the formula that you...
I didn't follow the formula.
You could have.
The formula changed. The market changed.
Well, let me tell y'all why I'm saying this when we talk about market changes. Excuse me, sir.
Okay,
Let me have a talk with my friends real fast. So,
He and I partnered on a property in Fort Worth. Tommy is always drilling into all of his students that when you buy it right, like you make your money on the front end. You don't make it when you sell it, you make it when you buy it. So understand why I'm questioning him really quick. Check this out. He and I acquired an asset. We ended up having to drop the price $30,000
In 30
asking
days.
price in 30 days. That's a lot. But we're still going to end up making
About 44.
$44,000 on that property. And that's because we bought it right. So technically, our formula kind of changed in the middle, or no?
Yes, it did, Jay. Okay.
But it didn't change as much as this would change.
Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to. So y'all write that down. When you buy right, you make the money on the front end, not on the sale.
So any money that's ever going to be made in real estate is always made at the acquisition, not the disposition, not the sale. If you buy it wrong, you're going to be chasing money throughout the entire process, cutting corners, trying to make up because you bought it wrong. If you buy it right, you'll be fine.
Let's talk about the steps of flipping.
Okay?
What does that look like?
Whew. All right. So the steps of flipping, you start with finding the asset, running the numbers on the asset, right? And then you want to look at not only the cost to acquire, but you also have to look at the hidden costs. You have to look at the hold time, right? If you're borrowing money from one of my vendors outside or any vendor, you want to look at what is the average days on market for homes. But you don't want to look at the average days on market for what's closed. You want to look at what's on the market now. See, when you look at closed deals, and most realtors use closed comps to get the value. But a closed comp only gives you the value, but it doesn't give you what the current market conditions are doing. The value helps you get a loan. The current market condition tells you how long you possibly are going to have that asset on your books. I just saved a lot of people right there. Let me tell you why I saved you. Because most people will say, oh, hey, I'm going to buy this house because I got 3 comps, and the comps say that it's worth $275, and I'm getting it for $160, and I'm going to make all this money, and I'm going to be on one of Tommy and Jay's videos. Okay, hold on. Let's look deeper at the analytics. Watch this. There's 7 houses on the market that look just like the improvements you're going to make. The comps that you have, this is November 3rd. The last comp you have is August 28th. The market has changed twice since that comp. There's 6 houses that are sitting, and they did great rehab on those houses. The houses look great. The houses are even priced right, but they're not moving. So that data now trumps the closed data. So what I would say, okay, you were going in at 160, you need to adjust your numbers. You need to go in at about 135, 140, because you need to give yourself padding, because number one, your holding cost is going to increase. Number two, you're probably going to have to be able to pay more closing costs to entice somebody to buy you, to pick you over the other 7 that are on the market. Because you're gonna do. They got granite, you're gonna have granite. They got nice upgraded floors, you're gonna have nice upgraded floors. They did custom paint, you're gonna do paint. That's a 3-2, yours is a 3-2. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. What's gonna make your house stand out? How can you entice? So those are the type of deeper dives and analytics that I go through with my students.
Y'all got it? Okay, I'm gonna keep stopping to make sure you got it, because we're not here to just look pretty today. We are here to actually make sure that we're understanding the information. So, should people use their own money to flip cash?
It depends.
I knew he was gonna say that, because he sure let me write that check on my first flip.
It depends. It depends. What I like to do is teach my students to leverage, if you got the stomach for that. Now, my mom and Jade have the highest credit score I've ever seen in my life. So,
Don't tell them that. Y'all don't tell nobody that. I don't need anybody trying to.
but what I'm saying is that, so for Jade to look and say 12%, 14% to borrow money, that's crazy. Because she's used to a different type of structure. Well, this is a different type of risk, right? Well, at the time, she didn't know that that's actually a great rate. And her credit score is what even got that rate. But at the time, it just made more sense, just pay cash for her. But now she understands leveraging. So let me pose a question like this. If I could help you structure a deal, where's Blaze? Somebody had Blaze walk in the back of the room. If he's one of my hard money guys. If I could show you how to structure a deal, and you borrow $190,000, and over the next 6 to 8 months, you pay $15,000 to borrow that $190,000. But at the end, you net $60,000. Was it worth it? See what I'm saying? So it's all in perspective. Blaze, just wave your hand.
First of all, shouts out to your name being amazing. Okay, Blaze.
Okay, so what I was saying, Blaze, is that he's one of the hard money lenders that my students use. So I was saying, if you give me $190,000 for 6 months, just on average, what would be my what would I pay in interest on that? Okay, you don't have to be exact, Blaze. Just give me an idea. That's why I love him.
He don't want to misquote and then
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
say,
yeah.
well, hold up, you charged me.
Yeah. How much? 1,800? No, it'd be more than that. For 6 months? Yeah, for 6 months. Okay, 1,800 times 6 is what?
800.
How much?
10,800.
So 10,000. So if I sent you to Blaze, you and Rachel, and you guys did a deal, and I said to borrow money that you don't have, it's going to cost you $10,800. It's going to cost you $15,000. But taking that $15,000, the cost for the electricity bills, the cleaning of the house, the staging of the house, paying the realtors, you and Rachel are still going to get a $55,000 check. Do you care that Blaze and his company made $12,000 off you? No. Exactly.
Now, some people in this room
Saying yes. So this is what I want to say because I have that same mentality. Doing this real estate stuff, you can't eat everything. If you get greedy, you're going to lose. So like even going back to bird dogging, a lot of people would be like, well, why would I bring the property to you and I'm just gonna make a couple $1,000, but you're gonna walk away with $50,000. But here's the thing.
he did all the work.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he took all the risk.
Yes.
So I would rather do a slow build up to the wealth that I'm looking for. We just have to get out of this greedy mentality. And I'm not saying anybody in the room, I'll speak for myself. Because I'm one of the people, it's hard for me to hire people because, well, I'm going to hire somebody to clean.
I'm gonna get them $200. I can just clean this myself. Then I'm pissed off 70 hours later when I'm still cleaning.
So it is literally a mental shift.
Blaze, since you're right here, you might as well give everybody your information, how they can contact you.
Hold on, get the mic real fast. Sorry, I gotta get him. He's already in here, so.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. You got lucky.
So let me tell you what that means. They do asset-based lending. So what that means, he don't care if you got a bankruptcy, foreclosure, child support, IRS liens. He's loaning money based on the house. They're underwriting the house. Does it who? No. It's a 12-month loan, right? You got 12 months to get in and out of the asset. Right?
Yes, sir.
They don't care. So I have several types of lenders because I have been at every stage in the process. A lot of time, no money, no credit. I needed people like Blaze. Then you get to a point where you have money and you have credit. So the more you have, the more
options you have. The great thing about wealth through real estate is because I have been at every stage.
we have a entry point regardless of where you are, right? So if you have no money and no time, you start wholesaling or you start bird dogging, right? If you got money but you've made some mistakes in the past, Blaze don't care about that. He care about the house. He's gonna loan you money based on the house.
All right, so give us your information really quick, Blaze.
If you want to follow me on IG, it's _Blaze.
Say it one more time. Yeah.
_Blaze.
1_Blaze.
It's one, like the number one, _Blaze, BLAISE.
Oh, I'm so glad you said ISE, because
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
in here
yeah.
put ZE, didn't we? Yep.
And then we got our signs over here, hats to give away. Come grab my business card. Oh yeah, our website's www.capitalconnect.me.
It's capitalconnect.me.
.me. Yep.
Capitalconnect.me. Is connect with a C, a K?
C. It's
Okay,
with a C,
so
yeah.
I'm just, spelled the regular way. Okay. And is there a phone number?
Yeah, our phone number
Blaze, after this, I'm going to teach you how, when somebody give you this mic, I need you to give your social security.
Hey, this is my first time speaking in public.
Okay,
so.
no, y'all clap it up for Blaze. We appreciate you. All right, give us your phone number really fast, because we want to get you business.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's 817-907-5499.
Blaze said, I do money. I don't do speaking. That's a good
I'm trying to
thing.
get good at it. You got to learn. You got to learn somehow.
No, we appreciate that. All right, Blaze, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. Y'all clap it up one more time for Blaze. Okay, so why is it so important for you to do things like this, for you to now become a mentor, for you to now put on events like this? Because in all honesty, you could just be eating and you're not sharing the wealth. So why?
Because, man, we ain't finna do the Oprah thing. You ain't gonna make me cry. My maternal grandparents, my mom and dad, my mom's parents, they died renters. And they never achieved the dream of home ownership. And I remember early on, I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I just knew I wanted to help people around money, because I just remember money always being a struggle. I mean, my parents were the first on both sides of their families to go to college. And so we were always taught that education was the way out, traditional education. I personally now say it's more about self-improvement and continuing to evolve. And so the reason I started Wealth Through Real Estate is I need help. I need help because I can't do it myself. If I do, 10, 15, 30, 40, even 50 houses a year by myself, I've moved the needle in the communities of Black and brown wealth very small at the end of the day. And so I wanted to reinvent myself and multiply myself this many times and teach you guys the game and help me make the statistics irrelevant. Help me make the statistics no longer matter in the communities that I serve.
That's good. So we have to address, the elephant in the room. There's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of fake gurus online. There's a lot of people getting in trouble. Matter of fact, some folks, I only see if y'all in this room, some folks are really rude. Like, is this going to be another one of those? What do you say to the people that want to know, are you the real deal?
My good friend Brian Bruce is in the room, and he owns a CPA firm, and he has a saying, Bruce, what do y'all say? Verify, believe. Did he leave? Did he just walk out, Dr. Bruce? Trust and verify. Oh, trust but verify. Yeah. So kind of like Jay did. It's funny, I heard this story for the first time last year when she said the day before we partnered on our initial deal that she did the Google and she did all that stuff. I mean, do your research. Do your research on me or anybody else. Here's the great thing that I love about real estate. It's all public knowledge. So if I give you an address and say that I bought it and I sold it, you can go verify it. You can see what I paid for it. You can see what I sold it for. The only thing you can't see is the rehab cost. But if I didn't lie about the acquisition price or the sales price, there's probably a good chance I didn't lie about what I rehabbed it for, right? So you can at least see what I paid for and what I sold it for, and you can make your decision in the middle how much money I did or didn't really make. That's number one. Number two, doing things like we're going to do tomorrow, proof of concept, right? For those that are doing the VIP experience, we have a charter bus that's going to leave here tomorrow at 9:30. We are going to go and physically walk properties that either me or my team or a combination of we own, and you're going to stand in it, and you're going to see it. We're going to go see apartment complexes that either we already own or we're in the process of purchasing. You're going to stand in it. You're going to get the address. You're going to be able to follow us on social media and say, they said they were supposed to be closing on that in December, and they ain't closed yet. Oh, just keep watching. You're going to see the pictures. We're going to close. Right? That's number one. Number two, they said Jade Tommy talking about they own that, and we went to there, and it's still out there. No, it's sold. It's gone. We sold it. Here's proof. Here's proof of concept. So you have to be able to verify.
From your opinion, from a mentor's opinion, why is mentorship important?
Okay, man, the reason mentorship is amazing because it shrinks the gap between your now and your not yet. Right? So for me in the area of multifamily, for those that follow me on social media, I jumped into multifamily last year, and you're going to meet some of my mentors and business partners later today. So for 15 years as an investor, probably, Jay, 12 of those 15 years, I longed and wanted to get into multifamily. I just didn't know how. So I just kept doing what I knew how to do. And that's probably like a lot of people here today. You've longed to get into real estate and you didn't know how, so you just kept going to that same old job because you didn't know anything else, right? So I challenged myself a year ago. I actually called Jade and said, I'm about to write the biggest check that I've ever written in my life for this mentorship in multifamily. And she was like, what? I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, sis. I'm about to do it. And I wrote a $100,000 mentorship check. That part. To get into rooms like this. But the people in the room didn't look like me. But I was betting on me.
Amen.
Watch this. So the program that I'm a part of, I ain't never went to lunch with the dude that sat on the stage. I've never been to his house. I've never had a private meeting with him other than casual meeting, talking to at the water fountain or doing lunch at meetings like this. But the people that I met in that room, the partnerships, the friendships that I met from October of, because I'm all about analytics, from October, Pastor D, you remember when I started? Because I called you. I said, Doc, I'm going to write a $100,000 check. He was like, oh. So from October of 22 to October of 23, I went from no apartments to owning over 1,000 units.
Yes, you can clap it up for that for sure.
Because of being in rooms like this, because of mentorship, because of getting in those groups. And here's the deal. The most stuff that I've learned is, no shade, wasn't from the dude's program. It was from the people in the program that I met that was like, oh, you look like me. Let me show you the game. Brooke is right there on the wall. We met in Atlanta. She's from L.A. Look at, see, she extra. Y'all think I'm extra.
We love it. I love it.
But we met in Atlanta and we connected, and she was like, let me show you the game. Let me help you. And she's one of the first people that started helping me in the multifamily thing. Now, a year later, I'm having my own conference, and my sister flew in from California to support.
Yes. The power of one.
The power of one.
One person being willing to sow seeds in you and teach you the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Was this good, y'all? This is a great way to start. All right, y'all make sure to follow him on social media. Tell everybody your social media, just in case they don't have it.
Yeah, follow me at Talk to Tommy on IG. I'm trying to really
No, it's Talk to Tommy Jones. I knew you were going to get that wrong.
I don't know it.
Talk to Tommy Jones.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. Talk to Tommy
Oh,
Jones.
no, where is it Talk to Tommy? Oh, it is Talk to Tommy Jones.
Okay, Talk to Tommy Jones on IG. I need to get them IG numbers up, y'all. I'm a Facebook kind of guy, but they trying to get me off Facebook, so I'm trying to get more mainstream. But thank y'all for being here.
Yes, thank y'all.
Thank y'all so much.
All right, y'all clap it up for Tommy Jones, everybody. All right. I'm loving this DJ. You gonna keep us woke today. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, you guys. We're gonna keep the show rolling. If you need to go to the restroom, hurry up and go real quick. Because we're about to switch the stage and bring up our next panel. You can keep playing, DJ. Keep on playing. There you go. It's gonna take us about 1.5 minutes, so don't go too far.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want you to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove. Ain't no stopping us now. I know. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove. We got it. I know you know someone that has a negative vibe. And if you're trying to make it, they only push you aside. They really don't have nowhere to go. Ask them where they're going, they don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're gonna put our show together, we're gonna polish up our act. Well, and if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want you to listen to every word I say, every word I say. No.
All right, everybody, start making your way back into the ballroom, please.
I'm taking my own freedom, putting it in my song, singing loud and strong, grooving all day long. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my stroll. I'll be hot stepping, y'all, letting the joy unfold. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden. I'm holding on to my freedom, can't take it from me. I was born into it, it comes naturally. I'm strumming my own freedom, playing the God in me, representing His glory. Hope He's proud of me. Hope He's proud of me. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden, golden, living my life, living my life, living my life like it's golden. It really matters to me, oh. Living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. Living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. Living my life like it's golden, golden, like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, golden, like it's golden, golden. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get started.
Stepping out tonight with my people. Everybody's live. Watch me now, my friends, it gets attention. Whenever I walk by, they say, oh, she walks around like she.
All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get started on our next panel for sake of time. Our next panel is comprised of Tommy's students, right? And this was intentional because, like we said before, when you jump into this game or when you jump from bird dogging to flipping or flipping to wholesaling, you have a lot of fear that sets in. So we want to talk to some of Tommy's students who are fairly new. In other words, they haven't been doing it as long as Tommy, just to see how they transition into this process, all right? So y'all do me a favor, give it up for Quincy, Tiffany, Ashley, and Hillary, everybody. Tiffany. Okay. And y'all give it up for Robert too, y'all. They gave me the wrong names. All right. So let's jump right into it. First of all, do you guys have careers outside of the real estate investing?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's go down the line. Tell everybody your name so we know, and then tell them what your, if you have a job outside of investing, a career.
I'm a full-time real estate agent and also a new real estate instructor.
Okay, and that's Ashley.
Well, I'm a full-time real estate agent, have a life insurance agency, so I do that as well as doing the investing.
Okay, nice.
Hillary Houston. I'm a corporate director in the daytime and 24/7 real estate broker investor all day.
Quincy Green, a railroad conductor for Union Pacific.
A railroad conductor. That's a new one. All right, nice. All right, I ain't never met a railroad conductor, y'all. I ain't know Quincy. Okay, that's what's up. Okay, so let's talk about it. How do you balance your career in real estate investing? Anybody feel free to speak up.
I would say it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Being in the corporate world, 8 to 5, you really have to manage your time. So oftentimes I'll get leads that will come in during the daytime, and I'm writing them down, doing my research, and then following back up in the evening times with them. And actually, the evenings is the best time to actually reach the sellers or those who may be in distress because they're available in the evening. So that's how I manage it.
Okay, anybody else? How are you managing all of this? Because think about it, y'all. This is really like adding a whole nother career, not to mention family. People, it's not an easy feat to balance our schedules. So how are you guys managing?
Well, for me, I have spent the last 15 years also working at General Motors. And meeting with Tommy, I was just telling him, man, I got to have a better quality of life because I was just hustling. Doing real estate, doing insurance, working at General Motors third shift. It was really hard to kind of balance all that. But then once I left General Motors, I found I had more time on my hand. But if I was able to do it with little time, I was able to do more with the amount of time I got after leaving General Motors. So finding that balance was really just getting mentored by Tommy, making sure I'm doing the research, doing the analytics, because I have the time to do that.
So this is a moment of truth here on the stage. We keep it real. Before you guys really jumped in head first, were you afraid?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what were you so afraid of and what got you over that hump when it comes to real estate investing?
Just like you said earlier.
Hold your mic up.
I'm sorry. Just like you said earlier, am I willing to take that risk with my money? And that was the biggest fear. Once I got to talking to Tommy, and he started breaking everything down, and we went at a slow pace, and he got me comfortable with it. We did one at a time on the smaller scale, then we graduated to the next one, and we graduated to the next one, and before you know it, we're gone. So he just made me feel comfortable with it, and the mentorship part of it is what helped me balance work and doing it at the same time.
Now, I hear you say you went to the next, to the next, to the next. Quincy, how many have you done?
We on number 7 now.
Wow.
Number 7.
Yeah. I got to get in your pockets, Quincy. How much money have you made, brother? Come on now. Are we in 6 figures yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ben?
We passed that.
We went way past that?
Not way past, but we're doing pretty good.
Okay, God is good all the time. Okay, all right. Okay.
On the average, I'm going to just be honest, on the average, we're doing anywhere from 60 to 80 per property.
God is good. Yes. Okay, and I'm going to get to everybody else too. But did you ever think that this was attainable for you?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like I said, just the mentorship on its own is what brought me to get comfortable with it. So like I said, we started the process slow, graduated to the next, and then it's like clockwork after that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, anybody else? Let's talk about the fears.
I will.
Yes.
So one of the fears I had was I've always heard, when you get into real estate, there's a lot of risk involved in getting in trouble or people trying to sue you. And so being on the residential real estate side, I had not experienced that. So I was scared of basically the unknown. And so reached out to Tommy and I said, what does this program look like? I was watching the program for about a year. I said, what is this? What is this about, Tommy? And so he said, you need to bring your own in this program. And I said, okay.
He said behind. Tommy don't cuss.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I said, okay. And so what I realized, because prior to getting into the investing, I had reached out for help. And it's one thing when somebody said, oh, yeah, I got you. And then when you're asking for the help, they're nowhere to be found. So with Tommy, he told me that, so I joined the program. And I kind of had a little bit of a leg up because I have past clients of mine that call me and say, hey, do you know anyone that's looking for this, or I have this property, you know, do you have someone that wants to buy it? So he really has kind of just held my hand throughout this process, showed me, okay, he calls me T, no, T, this ain't a good one, you need to pass on this, but if it is one, he'll say, okay, this is one, and he doesn't just say, okay, you need to do this, he explains why, and so that eased a lot of my fears, having him beside me to go through this process with. So now I'm getting better. Before I was calling him probably every 10 minutes, kind of like you were, but he has really been there, and I'm not just sitting up here giving you a bunch of fluff. When I've called him or I've texted him and needed help, he has been available for me, and for that I'm appreciative because it's made this process a lot less fearful than it would have versus me being out here on my own.
It's so funny you bring up the point of him saying, no, don't invest in this property. That's the most disappointing thing you can hear, because oftentimes you feel like you found one and you're like, oh, I'm about to make some money. And when he says, don't, thank God you have somebody to, you know, filter that for you or to help you filter through that process. But it can't be like a gut-wrenching, like, no. Right. So how many properties have you done?
I'm working on my first one. I had 2 contract. One didn't go. So I've closed.
Hold your mic up.
And, oh, can y'all hear me? Yeah. I've closed on my first one that we are currently in the process of flipping.
Okay, and so what are you projected to make on that property?
It'll be approximately $110,000, maybe $120,000.
Profit?
Profit.
Tiffany, let me hold some. Okay. All right, Hillary?
Yeah. I'll share. So my path was a little bit different. My background is in real estate, been in real estate, traditional real estate, residential for about 20 years, right? And so in 2020, when, we were all shut down in the pandemic, I went to YouTube University and literally self-taught myself about wholesaling, right? Because I'd heard about it and everything, but I really didn't know. So I learned all the ins and outs of wholesaling, and I had it down to a science, like literally. It's flipping paper, like I had it down to a science. And so did a couple of deals, and I got to this one deal in 2021 where the numbers, the spread wasn't there really, and to make it attractive for an investor to buy, right? And so the math wasn't math, and nobody wanted to buy it from me. That in-cash buyer that I had, they didn't want to buy it, right? So I was like, what am I gonna do? I got this property under contract, and nobody wants to buy it, and so I called Tommy.
Everybody calls Tommy.
And Tommy and I, we go way back. He was doing my lending stuff for my clients or whatever. So I called Tommy. I said, what am I gonna do? He said, sis, you're gonna flip this property. I said, no, I'm not. I literally, fear set in like you would not believe. I was in tears, literally. And he's like, sis, I got you. What's the address? I'm pulling up. He came, like literally the next day he came, and we walked the property and we talked about it, and he said, you know what? I'm gonna hold your hand through this. I'm gonna show you how to do it. So I was like, okay, I felt better, right? So we started it, and probably about, I don't know, four weeks in or so, I called him crying again. I was so fearful, and what I really had to do was learn how to get out of my own way, right? Because doing it for my residential clients, I would give them contractors, I would give them the steps of the whole process, but for some reason, I couldn't do it for myself. Right, so I really had to learn how to get out of my own way, and so we got through it, and I closed the deal. That was my first actual fixer-upper rehab that I did myself, and I made $65,000 on that first one.
Wow. Are you still pursuing flipping, or are you back to wholesaling?
I am. I love wholesaling. That's my jam. That's my jam there. But now I just closed my second fixer-upper property last month, and I made $80,000 on that one.
Some people don't even make that amount of money in a year, and you made it on 2 properties. Congratulations on that. All right, Robert.
Okay, so yeah, it was extremely scary for me, and it's almost surprising because I've been doing real estate for a while. But as I said, I was working at General Motors, and it's easy to do real estate when you got $100,000 plus a year coming in on your job. Correct. But I always raised my sons telling them that I need to be all the man that my father wasn't, so that they can be all the man that I'll never be. And in order to teach them that, I had to give them that example. So after talking with Tommy, I took that leap of faith, and I didn't have that $100,000 coming in anymore. So on our first deal, that first payment on that house was $4,000 a month. I got my own bills to pay. So I was like everybody else calling, tell me, what am I gonna do? Because this is $4,000 a month. It's gonna take about, 3 to 6 months to sell the house? Do the math. So yeah, it was very scary. But Tommy just told me, Lynn, look, just look at the analytics, take your time. It's got good numbers on it. There's a lot of meat on this deal. You're gonna make money on it. Well, needless to say, my knees buckled, and I went on and wholesaled out that bad boy, and I made about $25,000 on that one. And so now the next one that I have under contract, I'm gonna actually do the whole deal, and I'll make over $100,000 on this one.
You know, well, first of all, shouts out to the next 100,000.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring you guys up here because I think that a lot of times, especially when you're seeing, again, all of the internet gurus, everybody on social media, it seems so easy from the outside looking in. And so we'd love to hear these real, relatable, authentic stories of like, look, I buckled on my first one. You know what I mean? I just got afraid, even with someone that's there by my side, because we talked about it earlier, the mindfulness, the power of believing that we can, the power of doing things that are uncomfortable for us. You know, if we keep, what do they say? If we keep doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result, that's insanity. There you go. Y'all heard that before too? So, how important has mentorship been throughout this process? Quincy, you all in. You look, Quincy don't even call Tommy no more, y'all.
No, I still call. Oh no, we got to talk every day. Yeah, he was so hands-on in the beginning, you know, that, like I said, he made the process that much smoother. So now our conversations on the phone is like, hey, you need to do this, or you need to do this, and then sometimes I hit him back and say, it's already done, you know, because we drilled it in the beginning, so it became repetitive. It becomes repetitiveness. I don't know.
How did you learn it? Because one of the frustrations for me on my first couple of properties is me saying, how will I ever know how to do this? Because you're around somebody like Tommy who can literally walk in a property. He could walk into this room if it was distressed and say, it's going to cost us about $75,000 to get it done. And so you start to have, you know, the self-doubt and, you know, imposter syndrome, like, I don't know what I'm doing. So how important has the repetitiveness and how important, when it comes to the mentorship, he's been challenging you. He's been challenging you to think. He's been asking you certain questions to think on your own. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so at this point now, when we go walk a property, he's telling me to tell him what I see, and then what you think we're gonna get in and out of here on. That's good. You know, so like I said, he beginning pointing out things that you look at. You know, we got to the point to where he would say, okay, you go out and ride it and tell me what you see. You know, that's great. 3 major components we're looking at: roof, HVAC, and foundation.
Y'all write that down?
And he said, Q, you can see that from a visual ride, you know, and he told me what to look for. And from that point, you know, that stuck with me. So now I can call him and say, hey, I went on the road that property, man. It looked like we got roof, and I looked at that unit best I could. It like it's pretty old, you know. So we know we got that, we up against that already, you know. In foundation, you can see cracks, you know, in the house or whatever. And we know right then, okay, that's already part of the budget. And then everything else, he comes in and, you know, bam, 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 and here we go.
That's good. Yeah. Ashley, I've met you on a couple of properties. What is the importance of showing up to properties that you're not making any money off of? Because you've actually come to some of my properties before, vice versa, you show up when it doesn't have anything to do with you. Why do you do that?
That was something that's very important. One, because I'm a visual learner, but it also let me hear certain verbiage, language, and how I was at your property today with the backsplash. And so, again, I sell residential real estate, so I'm not paying attention to the type of backsplash or the finishes. And so I remember Tommy was like, okay, I think let's go with the subway tile. And I was thinking, okay, why is this important? Because my mind was still in residential real estate. I was like, what does it matter? Just pick one. But now that I'm on the other side, I understand, you know, being there, why, you know, the finishes were important, and even just walking the property, and I know the contractors were there, and so I was able to really see what it looked like to be there when the work was being done. So that has helped in this process of me purchasing my investment property as well.
Yeah, that repetition is important. I think that oftentimes when we're investing, we think it's a solo sport. It's really a team sport. If you have the opportunity, like in this room, there's 130-something people in this room. If anybody else in this room has a property, I would highly suggest you just pull up to it and start analyzing it for yourself. Being around that language is important, because when you first get into real estate investing, it almost sounds like Spanish. It's like, what does all of this mean? And so the more you hear it, the more, you know, it's a little less intimidating. Hillary, let's talk about, what do you like the most about investing and the least? And then I want to hear from you, Robert.
Oh, gosh. Well, the money, of course, right? That's what I like the most. Well, you know, for me, it's really about helping people, right? When you meet those sellers and they're under those distressed situations, they don't know what they're going to do, and then you show up with solutions, right? And creating those win-wins for everyone. So it's just that warm and fuzzy feeling I get knowing that the services that I have to offer is really helping someone. And then, you know, you get into the trenches of it and you know, realize you got foundation issues, or, you know, the house is infested with bugs or whatever. And, you know, you get into all of that, and that part doesn't feel good. It also doesn't feel good when the market shifts, right? And so it's like I got my whole plan, my timeline, and, you know, I did all my construction and everything within 6 to 8 weeks. I go to put it on the market, and it's sitting for another 90 days. That don't feel good, right? And so my last property that I flipped like that, I reached out to Tommy. I'm like, hey, what am I doing? What could I do to really move this property? And he came back out. He's like, sis, why did you just paint the fireplace? You should have wrapped it with tile. You should have did this, and that, you know? And some other things that he's like, why didn't you stage it? I'm like, well, I don't know, that the money. I didn't have money in there for that. But anyway, I did what he told me.
But you end up paying it in a mortgage anyways, didn't you?
You know.
Right.
Them interest payments, all of that, it adds up. And so, but anyway, I staged it. I did the changes that he made, and within 30 days, it closed. It finally sold. But, you know, it's those things that don't feel good all the time, but you really just have to push through and just trust the process.
That's good. Robert?
Oh, what I really love about it is that wealth through real estate, and Tommy's concept of it, has redefined my definition of wealth, because at first you would think about the money. But now when I look at my life, and I'm not working 7 days a week, now I look at my life and I have time to impart into my sons. I look at my son, who's now unplugged from exchanging hours for dollars, and now he's got the mindset that I'm greater than this. That's the real wealth of it. That's the real wealth of it. And so that's what I love most about it. And then the money is great, but I know now I'm really leaving a legacy for my sons, you know, so that they can follow this footstep. What I don't like about it as much sometimes is the math, because if you're not patient and take your time to do the numbers, you'll find yourself underbidding, or, you know, you didn't adjust for the market like Tommy said. And that's the part where you got to be patient, because sometimes you get so excited about what you can make that you might miss a step. And so I got to tell myself constantly, like you said, be disciplined, be consistent, and follow each step that Tommy has shown me.
That's
you know,
good.
so that's what least part I like about it.
That's good. What about you, Quincy?
The least part is I guess the unforeseen. We got in a situation where we had a property, and we were about to go live with it and everything, and came up. We had an inspection, right, Tommy? And found out that a tree in front of the house had roots that had went under the house, wrapped around pipes.
Woo.
We already done our numbers. We thinking we at the finish line. We know we finna make, and then bam, that was a $10,000 setback right there at the end, right? But what made up for that is how we acquired the asset. I mean, he already made up for it before we even got to that point, right? So he always say, it's all about how you acquire. Like y'all was talking earlier, it doesn't matter about that or this. What did you get it for? Right? So we had that extra room to play with, and we still won in the end. We lost 10,000, but we still won in the end. We didn't take a check to close it. So.
That's good.
And that's the least thing I like, the unforeseen. The best thing I like is going live and closing.
I bet. You've had a few of those.
That's check time.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. What about you, Tiffany? Ashley.
Tiffany.
Tiffany, what?
The least thing that I have liked for me was the flip-flopping of the mindset. Because like I said, I had been so gung-ho with the residential real estate and having to switch over. And it really is a mindset shift in how looking at numbers is different from the residential side versus the investing side. So that part I have not enjoyed, but I'm overcoming it. What I do like the most is, even though I have not been investing the longest, my father has been watching me. And just 3 weeks ago, he joined and he set up his holding company and his LLC. And he said to me, he said, I want to start doing what you're doing. He said, I'm going to be retiring from football this year, so he says. And he said, I want to start investing. And so when I went down to my hometown, I'm from Longview, he said, let's go out and see if we can find, some properties where I can start. And for my dad to be looking at it like that, that really spoke a lot. So I said, okay, not only am I doing this for my children, but now he's wanting to get started so that he can leave a legacy for us as well. And so that in itself has been the most rewarding to me so far.
Wow, that is beautiful. Can anyone be a real estate investor?
Anybody can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Why do you say that? Why can anyone do it? Are there certain qualities that a person needs to have? Because it's funny, I was listening to you earlier, Robert, when you were saying fear set in and you switched your strategy, right? But what's interesting about this real estate game, it challenges your mind, your psyche. It makes you see things about yourself. It makes you grow. It makes you push. But what does a person need to have inside of them to be a successful real estate investor? We know the mentorship part. We know following the formula, but what is it inside of them that they need to have or expect to see within themselves to be successful in this game?
I think you have to have grit, right? You have to have grit. You have to have that internal thing that just drives you, and that hope, that hope that something optimistic will happen, for you, right? That this is gonna, actually go through. But I think if you have someone that you can look up to and see do it, you then start to believe in yourself that you could do it as well. My daughter is back there. She's 26, and I've been teaching her the game. So, she lives in a really nice area in Bishop Arts, and I'm like, just walk that area and get all those vacant houses, and I'm going to show you how to do this game. And so she's learning.
That is so cool.
I think you just have to have a big enough why. If you have a big enough why, it'll cause you to do something different than what you're doing. Like I said, I was looking at my life, and one day at General Motors, a coworker was just walking by, just talking, and said, you know what, I got to get on the grind. Only got 20 good summers left, and walked off. But that 20 good summers left stuck in my head that day, the next day, and the day after that, and I got to looking at my life. I said, where will you be 20 summers from now?
Ooh-wee.
Will you still be out here on this assembly line, or will you live the life that you've been feeling is calling to you? You gotta have a big enough why, and that's what did it for me.
Tiffany, what have you noticed about yourself that you have inside of you that maybe you didn't realize throughout this process? What is a quality, a characteristic that someone needs to have to be successful in this business?
That I have the tenacity to do. It's not as hard as I thought it was, and it's more a lot of mindset. I'm a positive thinker, and I have the mentality I can do anything, but sometimes, you do have those thoughts that try to come in, and so just telling yourself, you got this, you can do this. If somebody else is doing it, you can too. And so more so just mine.
Quincy.
I guess having the stomach for it. He always mentioned you got to have the stomach for this.
That is a saying you will hear Tommy say all the time.
Yeah, when you're going to run across some times where you don't think this is going to work out or whatever. You always go back to what he said in the beginning, you don't have nothing to worry about because you got the asset at a low cost. You're going to make money. You're going to make money. So just run into them hiccups, I guess, just having the stomach for it when it comes and know that everything's going to be all right,
I love it. Y'all give it up. Was this good information right here? Give it up for these guys. Quincy, Hillary, Robert, Tiffany, thank y'all so much. We appreciate it. DJ, I need you to be ready, DJ. That's when you're supposed to play the music. It's supposed to go live. Everybody say, come on, DJ. All right. All right, you guys, our next panel, I'm really excited about it because there was not a time not too long ago where real estate investing was the game for the fellas, right? It was the man's world, but not anymore. So I'm actually going to ask my questions out here because we have 5 panelists. I don't want us to have to switch the stage. So y'all please get ready for our next panelists. Y'all give it up for Miss BB, Shirley, Brooke, Dizette, and Nikki, everybody. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. And if we can get one more mic for Nikki, please. We need a microphone for Nikki. All right, I'm gonna stand at the back of the room and ask these questions so I can stay out of the way of the camera. Y'all, this panel is comprised of women who have carved their own path and collectively own over 3,000 units worth over $223 million. That's why I hugged y'all. I want to get all them blessings, all right? Yes, congratulations, ladies. Okay, so let's start with Dee. What even ignited this initial interest in you getting into the real estate industry?
Well, I would say that growing up, my dad, his skill was carpentry. And so as a little girl, I got to watch him transform things. I would call it a shack back then, but he'd take that shack and turn that into a masterpiece. And so just watching him in his craft just really excited me. And so fast forward to 2000, I had some changes in life. I was married at the time, and my husband was no longer working. And so a friend introduced me to fix and flips. And so I was like, well, let me try this, because she was doing great at it, and the prices, the market was really good. I mean, I bought a house for $13,000, you know? And so the other one was like $17,000, and I flipped those houses in less than 2 months. And it was really quick, easy money. And so it allowed me to, you know, supplement my income. I'm an attorney by trade. I was making good money, but with 2 kids, you know, you need that little extra income. So that was just so fascinating to me, just to be able to do it myself, you know. And so life continued, raising my girls, practicing law and all of that. And so I kind of got away from it, but then I had an opportunity to jump back in when I met Tommy. Of course, everyone in wealth real estate comes through Tommy, right? So meeting Tommy, I learned the granular aspects of what it took to actually acquire and to flip a house. Because one of my first deals, it went bad. My contractor ran off with the first draw of money. I used hard money back then. And so I had to call my dad to come in and finish that rehab for me. So after jumping back in here recently and learning, like I said, the granular aspects of it, learning also that there are other avenues of acquiring. There's subject twos. There's so much that I've learned just, working with Tommy. So getting back into the single family fix and flips. But then last year in October, I was in that same room with Tommy. And it was a room of hundreds of people, probably 3-4 times as many people as are in this room. But I could count on my hand the number of people that looked like us. And all the people that were on the stage were gurus. I mean, I'm sure they paid. I mean, they were talking about their airplanes, and all that they've acquired, and it was quite fascinating. And I'm sitting in the back, and I'm like, okay, just taking notes. So it was just an opportunity that presented itself to being in the right room at the right time and just meeting great people. Brooke was in that room. And through the relationship with Brooke, we meet BB. We meet Shirley. And so it's just a sisterhood, and we all collaborate. And so I'm just super excited about, not just the single family, but also the multifamily, because the single family is what's going to fund your investment into multifamily.
Correct. How many doors do you own, D?
Over 900.
Ooh-wee.
Yes.
All right, Shirley, what got you into real estate in the first place?
So I was in the military for 20 years. I always loved investing.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And through my time as a soldier, I always loved investing, but I used to do it in a traditional way. Although real estate always caught my attention, I didn't really know how to really get in the game. Once I was getting ready to retire, I attended one of Grant Cardone's, and for those of you who know Grant Cardone, for a lot of us, it's like the rite of passage, so to speak, into real estate. And I started listening about, long-term wealth, being able to own assets, cash flow, building my legacy. And so that really caught my attention, and I started going into these events, meeting people such as Brooke, BB, D as well, learning a lot of the different aspects of real estate and how I can multiply my investments. And that's kind of how I went in. I started educating myself, I started attending events, I started being around the people that were at the level that I wanted to be in, right? And then, of course, one of the most important things is getting out of my own way with regards to utilizing your money and investing it, right? And so there was a point where an opportunity popped up, and I see my money in the bank, and it's not making like 0.01%. It's just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I've worked for over 20 years doing all these things, and I don't see my money growing. There's got to be another way.
Yeah.
There just got to be another way. And so with everything, it came, the opportunity presented itself, and I went and took the leap of faith.
Awesome.
Definitely, I would tell people, educate yourself. Absolutely, because in everything there's risk, especially in the things that that's going to bring a lot of return on your investment. So that's how I went in, and then I just got sucked in, and I just love every aspect of real estate because it's multifaceted. It's not just multifamily, it's single, it's residential, it's flipping, it's house hacking. It's just so many different things that you can get so creative on, and I'm just addicted to it now. So yes, so I invested, and everything kind of fell in place.
I love how you brought up your bank account. I think a lot of times we have pride. This has been the hardest thing for me that I still struggle with, is looking at the number in my account and being like, oh, okay, I have, I'm doing all right for myself. But that money is not growing, sitting there. So being able to mentally decrease the amount that you physically see in the account so that you can grow it on the investing side is definitely a mental shift. Because I'm born in a West Indian household. My whole life has been save, save, save. You know, that's what they tell you, like save your money, and you don't learn about investing. So it's definitely a mental shift. How many doors do you own?
488 doors
Ooh.
in a year.
In a year. All right, Ms. Brooke. So
What's happening?
Why real estate?
Because I had 22 years hard time in the corporate world. And I was tired of not being
I
represented.
know that's right, hard time. We thought you was gonna say prison, child.
You
We
know
was
what I'm
gonna say,
saying?
what?
I got that from my husband, the cute Puerto Rican in the back.
Okay.
6'4". After having 22 years in the corporate world and only seeing men, no women of color, there's no representation up there, then me having 2 daughters, me and my husband together have a blended family, black and brown family of color. And I got, essentially you get fed up. At some point in your life, you're gonna get fed up. You're gonna get fed up that you're not being represented. You're gonna get fed up, you're overworked, underappreciated, underpaid. You're not being, given what you're worth, so you take it. And if you're not there at this point yet, think of your kids. Think about what you're gonna leave behind because representation matters. And I'm gonna go back to something that she was touching on earlier, so that for numbers perspective. So the bank is an average of 0.01%, okay? People who are in the stock market, that's cool, at least you're getting something, but over 75 years, that has paid you an average of 8 to 10%. Right now, it's an average of 8.1%. However, when was the last time the CEO of Apple asked you on a business decision? You are putting your money in the stock market that is like a roller coaster you can't get off of, okay? And they're not consulting you at all. Now, if you go into multifamily over the last 75 years, this is giving you 20% on average on your returns. So for the sake of Tommy's business of flipping houses, because y'all, I went straight into multifamily. Bought my house in 2019. There was no intermediate. I was also with Grant, jumped right in, that's it. So for Tommy, you give him, 20 grand, 25 grand, give or take. Few months later, you're getting your return on capital. You're getting that 20, 25K back plus 5K. Bro. So when people are like, only 5K? What do you mean, Brooke? Solamente 15, like that's not okay. How much is your money making in the bank right now, y'all? Not a damn thing. Okay, so 20% is good numbers. So when Tommy tells you I'm giving you 20%, you're getting 5 grand and your return on capital back, you better hop on that, especially with somebody at his caliber, okay? So I have 481 units, and when I originally started, I tried to do this myself. There are no shortcuts in business, y'all, other than a mentorship, other than a mastermind, other than a coach. The only way I was able to scale so quickly and lead the corporate world as of October 2nd, just a few weeks ago, is because you have to pay to be in the room with these people. Partnerships is what is going to scale you and grow you. You're gonna bring people in your ecosystem where you are weak at. So for me, I didn't have a couple million in the bank. I was doing okay. I had a 6-figure corporate job, cool. Nice house, car, the whole 9 yards. On the outside, you look like you're doing well. But you're one pink slip away from losing it all and being broke. So bottom line, take control of your financials, your financial freedom. Pay to be in the room. Bring people around you that aren't doing well. So I didn't have the $1 million in the bank. I hadn't gone full cycle, and what that means is you refi. Apartments is just like flipping houses, but with apartment buildings, okay? So it took me 18 months of nonstop, relentless action before I was like, shit, man, okay, I need some help. I can't do this myself. I had my own team. Finally got people who had the money in the bank, who trusted me, saw my hustle, knew that I was about, myself, and I was all in. They had the money, they'd gone full cycle, and that's the only way I was able to get 481 units in 2 years, leave my 6-figure corporate W-2 job, and I also have a triple net, which means you own the land and the building, and people like Starbucks and Taco Bell pay you rent, and that's a 90-10 split. Y'all ain't gotta know everything. And if you're the smartest person in the room, y'all are in the wrong room.
There you go.
Your ass needs to be in the room where everybody is light years ahead of you. You just need to know what you want, and what the gentleman said earlier, what's your why? Because the money's gonna come and go, y'all. Shit's gonna get hard. Why are you here? Okay? So for me, we've been sponsoring Nino Sofia in Guatemala. They only get a 7th grade education, y'all. I saw this little girl. She's a Cancer like me, July baby. She looks like my lip. Woo! Shout out to all my Cancers, y'all. Yeah, don't mess with us. We're cool till we're not.
Amen. That is so true.
Bottom line, other people got to talk because I'll go on a rant and rave. Have a higher purpose. And for me, it is educating women and marginalized communities because y'all don't have a seat at the table. It's the white man that has a seat at the table. Your ass ain't on top. So if you want something, you go for it, you show up in the room, and you represent, and then you share that on social media. So many successful people out there in the black and brown communities. My highest investors are the black communities. And Tommy, and I'll wrap up with this because I know BB's fabulous. I'll let you talk. Me and Tommy were running buildings. And he's like, Brooke, and this was so eye-opening to me. Why do you think your biggest investors that drop the most money with you are in the black community, black and brown? Because now they know us and we're going to help them and they trust us and we're cool. Nah, Brooke, you're an athlete, you play ball. You show up to a Warriors game. What's the first thing you say? I don't know, where's my beer? Where's my garlic fries? No, Brooke, focus. How much time is left and what's the score? Okay. He's like, we don't know when God's coming for us. Bro, we don't know what the score is and we don't know how much time we have left. But the second we have that opportunity, we are all in. So be all in on your future, be all in on something bigger than yourself, and surround yourself with people that are smarter and doing bigger things because you don't need to know it all and you will still kill it.
There you go.
And that's why we're on the same team.
Yes.
That right here.
Look, I don't even know if we selling something today, but I'm going to buy it, Brooke. What you got on them tables out there, girl?
Don't ask me no questions.
I'm going to go to the parade because she did that.
She did that. And congratulations on your recent retirement. You being able to step away from that corporate job and all your doors.
Yo, shout that out to my husband, David, too. Investing has retired my husband, as of April 2016, made his hobby a business.
Yes.
And myself within 2 years. Y'all can do it.
Absolutely. All right, BB, why real estate investing?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, for me, it was about survival. I came into this country, and my parents have been here for 30 years, but we never grew up with them. So I came into this country to just give birth to my daughter and go back. But my daughter she had 50-50 chances of leaving, so I had to stay back. And I had a very good business in my country, and I was into property management. I was also into real estate. But I came here and I lost everything. So real estate for me was survival. I had nothing. I was in ground zero. I had to do all the menial jobs you can think of. I did everything. I did my master's because I thought education was the way. I studied project management in my country, but you know, when you bring that certificate here, it's nothing. I had to further by doing a master's. I didn't have the money. I had to pick up 4 jobs. So I was doing 4 jobs, security, cleaning, kitchen, name it, I was doing everything. And I was paying as an international student. I did my master's in a car, and after doing it for 2 years, doing a security job, I said, this is not me. I can't be this. I said, no way. Why is it that the black people are not thinking of financial freedom? Why are we here? Because I was in the midst of all blacks, and it was same old circle. I said, this is not my circle. I cannot live in this circle. So just God had it that one day I escorted my friend to my then business, my then boss. He's sitting at the back there. He's my business partner right now. He owned a security company of over 150 employees. So I went there in search of a job, but I went there and I saw an opportunity and I grabbed it. I realized he didn't have a secretary, and I pitched myself to the job. And I said, I am the best for this position. I came here for a security job, but I want to be a secretary. And I think he was surprised about my action. He just said, get on board. But even at that, I was not comfortable. I said, no, there's still more to life than this. already I was in that circle of all white, all white. I think we're the only blacks in that big building. It was in Culver City, California. And I was supposed to be comfortable, but this is what I'll tell you. Don't get comfortable at mediocrity. Don't think you've arrived when you've not even started. And I got there and I was like, everything looks fine. I can keep at this and keep getting promoted and I'm good. And I said, this is not me still. I finished my, my master's, but I didn't want to use it. I studied information system and cybersecurity, and I said I wasn't going to use that. And because of my experience from my country, I'm originally from Nigeria, I asked him, I said, thank you. I asked him, I said, I was into the real estate. Would you like for us to do it? It took him 1 year, but you need to be consistent. Things don't fall on you, on your laps. It doesn't come easy. I was consistent for 1 year and tried to push him. Let's do it. And that was how we started. I started with fix and flip. I flipped over 24 homes. We own 8 vacation renters.
Did you say 2,000 homes?
No, 24 fix and flip.
Oh, 24, okay.
Yes.
But that's still a lot.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay.
24 fix and flip, then 8 vacation renters in different states. Then we migrated into multifamily, and now we own almost 900, and we have 50 under contract right now.
Wow.
So it's
that
been
comes
an
from somebody that did her master's degree sitting in her car. Wow. Amazing. All right, Nikki, let's talk about real estate investing. I know that they do multifamily, but you're a builder. You have just recently, within this last year, bought land, and you are developing neighborhoods. So let's talk about why real estate for you.
So I started, hi everybody, I'm Nikki Watson. I started in real estate as an ancillary service. A lot of realtors that are in the room, they know me as the carpet girl. I used to sell floors. So I sold floors for about 10 years, and then I started in staging like Agnes out there, and staging kind of helped me make a few dollars. When you're making a few dollars, you want to know what's your next step in life. You got you got a good business going, and what are you going to do with your money? And most of my clients were real estate investors already, because I would sell them vinyl plank, carpet, all that stuff. And I would hear all these crazy stories about them losing money. Oh, I lost $50,000 on a flip, and it scared the mess out of me. But I wanted to do something with my money. Like you said, put it in the bank is doing nothing. You're earning pennies. So I looked at building. I was like, well, maybe there's less risk, like the guy said before, with the tree that would have killed me, that would have hurt my heart. There's less risk because you don't have anything behind the walls. You don't have any of those unexpected things because you're doing everything from ground up. So building was my first option to getting into real estate investing. So I did a mentorship involuntary fee. My first contractor ran off with $50,000. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't know where to go for a mentor, but I learned. I paid that lesson. I paid $50,000, a $50,000 lesson. So after that, I was like, I would never do that again. Then I started talking to people. What do I do? Don't you ever pay nobody up front. Well, I don't want to pay nobody. Well, I'm going to be the builder. So I started building myself. I just learned the process. It's all project management. If you're a realtor, you've seen the process. You can be a builder. Like, there's nothing other than permits. That's all it is. The other things are just hiring the contractors. If you've flipped a house, you've built. It's the same thing. So now what I'm doing is developing. So I have a development out in Greenville, Texas, out in Hunt County. And doing, building everywhere, Cleburne, Terrell, all kind of places. So,
how many homes are you currently working on?
So the development is 21-acre lots, so 20 homes there, but I'm building about 80 houses in all over DFW.
Invest like a girl. This is what we're gonna do. I love it. I know we're limited on time, but I do want to bring up a very strong point. It is life pushed you to your passion,
right? One of the part of the story that Nikki's not sharing with you is when she was selling carpets, her then manager fired her because he knew how talented she was in staging. And he said, if I don't let you go, you will never pursue your passion. You will never go and get what God has for you, right? And so you had somebody push you. BB, you mentioned, your manager that is now your business partner sitting in the back. Brooke, you mentioned your husband. Everybody in here has mentioned somebody else. And that is why it is so important. If you don't have somebody in your life that can push you to greatness, that is why mentorship is so important, because we don't do this alone.
No.
Collaboration over competition, period. You know what I mean?
Collaboration is the new currency, y'all.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so real quick, tell me where you guys have I know where you said, Nikki, where do you have real estate investment properties? Real quick, tell us like the states that you're currently invested in.
Dallas, San Antonio, Philadelphia, Arkansas.
All over the country. All right, what about you, Ms. Shirley?
Dallas, Cap Cana, and Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and North Carolina.
I need to come see that property. Okay.
South Lake, Texas, Dallas, Florida.
Nice.
Yes, Fort Worth, Dallas, Pennsylvania, Florida, California.
And I forgot, Fort Worth. Yeah, Fort Worth.
Gotcha. Okay, really quickly for the sake of time, if somebody wants to start building or investing in multifamily, we're going to have a multifamily panel that's coming up next. What should they start working on now to prepare themselves for that leap?
I would say networking. Just kind of get yourself in a room. It doesn't have to be a paid room. There are really experienced investors who hold weekly meetups or bi-weekly meetups. I would say, I think it was Brooke that said, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. So, and if you don't have time to actually go to an event, you can also, there are a lot of podcasts out there, but do your research and don't just jump into the first thing that looks shiny, So that would be the first thing that I would suggest.
Are there any specific groups or communities that you could recommend? Anybody?
So I'm going to jump right. The Michael Blanc, the Financial Freedom with Real Estate Investing, helped me a lot. Even though I started with Grant Cardone, he's very high level, amazing cheerleader. But the famous yellow book, Finding Financial Freedom with Real Estate Investing, read that, listen to him on Audible. I also interview people who have closed their first deal on YouTube. Go check it out, Financial Freedom with Brooke, or search Michael Blanc. He gives you that day-to-day stuff. So Joe Fairless is another good one. Yeah. And then following some of us, I put out a lot of content on my Instagram. I know you're going to ask how to connect, so I'm just going to drop that right now.
Love it.
So on Instagram, it's Brooklyn, BROOKLYNN 0719. And I'm always putting out the podcast where I'm at and content.
And that was 2 N's, correct?
That's 2 N's. That's Brooklyn with 2 N's.
Okay. We believe you have, we already know. You extra Brooklyn. You got to throw that extra in there.
That's right.
And
That's
also
right.
real estate investment groups in your community, locally.
Like
If
Meetup.
you want to start
Go to
off in a
meetup.com.
small, intimate group setting, Google it. I mean, there's meetups everywhere around here, all over the United States. That's where you can start and exchange value, exchange information with each other. YouTube University, y'all. Like, come on. Like, you can really self-teach yourself. You can be self-taught. So definitely.
Vet people.
Right.
Y'all gotta
and
vet
Gabriel,
people, though.
let
You
me-
date
Absolutely.
people. This is a marriage, not a one-night stand, y'all. Just because they're in the room does not mean they're quality people.
Right.
So make sure you're taking the time to break bread with them, hang out with them. My partners, I've known for about 2.5 years. I know their families. If I got stuck at the airport, they're gonna come pick me up. Don't just be like, oh, she's hella cool, she's cute, I like her dreads, I like her length, this, her glasses, she's cool, I wanna partner with you. Know who you're getting in bed with, y'all. Get to know the people.
Let
And
me
I would
tell you
suggest
something. Just
also-
one
I'm
more
sorry.
thing. Networking, but with intentionality, please. Okay, because we're not here to, talk about nonsense or, wave top stuff. Network with intentionality. Be interested in people's stories. Be interested in getting to know them and forge a relationship with each other, because you never know who you're gonna meet that you can even partner with. I didn't know these ladies a year and a half ago, and we wrote a book together now. And we're launching our brand, our Rewire brand, and you can go and meet us at our table there where we have our books. But definitely, we didn't know that this was gonna be something as big as the WeWire panel or the WeWire brand, helping women understand their stance financially and how they see themselves in the future, okay? Because I wholeheartedly believe that we should own 50% of everything here, right? Because men usually are the ones that are leading the way. But we have the confidence, we have the resources, and you have the support up here, starting with us, to just start dreaming and knowing the possibilities that you have to build wealth for you and your families.
Anybody else?
I was going to put in a plug for the next, I think he's there on the next panel, Gabriel Kraft. He has a local meetup, and you will learn so much just going to that meetup. It's free, and I think that it's once a month. Gabe can fill you in on that once he takes the stage, but just take advantage of the free resources. But at some point, you're going to have to write that check, because you're only going to get so much that's free.
There you go. BB?
Yes, the first thing I'll ask you to do is your mindset. This is not a child's play. It's not for the making heart. It's for the strong. I will say that to you. It is hard. It's not easy. You can't have a lot of properties without going through hell. I've cried on this job. I've laughed. I've yelled. I've shouted, I've been angry and upset. But is it worth it? Yes, it is. So please, the mindset, very important. The second thing is money should not deter you. I didn't have any money. YouTube was my university. Everything I know now and I do now was YouTube, nothing else. I didn't have the ability of a physical mentor, and I didn't allow that to deter me. So YouTube, if you don't have money, don't limit yourself. Go to YouTube, go to free webinars. The meetup she mentioned, go there and get this wealth of experience, because you actually need experience. Don't jump into it because you will fail. Thank you.
Nikki?
Same thing. Meetup is a great place to look for groups and find your people. I met a lot of lenders and people that have the money knowledge that I didn't have at the time. So Meetup is a great place. YouTube, I learned a whole lot of stuff there, because like she said, I didn't have the money either. So I was just starting out wherever I was. So don't think that everything has to be perfect before you get going. Just start.
All right, social media, real fast. Nikki, we'll start with you. How can they follow you on social media?
I am Nikki Watson, N-I-K-K-I.
I am Nikki Watson, Ms. Vivi.
BB_Ofiri, OFIRI, and that's it for Instagram, yeah.
Brooke, we're going to let you do yours again.
It's slowly. Brooklyn 0719. That's BROOKLYNN 0719.
Shirley?
I am Shirley Wise, BAEZ. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
And Miss D?
Why am I acting like Tommy? I need to get my Instagram going.
I've been telling you, D.
I know.
On the spot.
It's at Dezette, D-E-Z-E-T-T-E.
All right, y'all give it up for our Invest Like a Girl panel, please, everybody. Thank you, ladies. I mean, this was absolutely outstanding. I love all of your energy. All right, great news, everybody. It is lunchtime. Anybody hungry in the room? Anybody hungry? You need just a little bit of a break, Is this good information, though? Tell the truth, y'all. Are you really walking away feeling empowered, that you're actually getting information that you can apply to your life? Be honest. Okay, great. That's the whole point. So lunch will be for 1 hour. If you walk out of the ballroom, your left, my right. It's going to be in the Champions 1 room. It's right next to the restroom. It's going to be box lunches. Grab your box lunch. We are going to be back in here at 1:26. 1:26, because we have a lot more great information to share with you guys. We're going to go into multifamily, how to get money, how to make sure that you are saving money on your taxes through real estate. So a lot more information. And also for all of our speakers, your lunch is in the green room, all right? We'll see you at lunch. DJ, it's on you.